Next poet is going to be Rachel Tansy-Chadwick, who has a very special way of delivering her poetry. So we are very, very pleased she could be with us tonight. Rachel.
Thanks to both James and Bettina for inviting me down this evening. Look forward to hearing Bettina say. That was amazing, James, as always. I love your poetry, and I really love how you deliver them as well, so thank you. For those of you who haven't seen me before, we'll see what Bettina means in a minute, but this one is delivered the usual way, just reading a poem. This one is called Have You Ever Wished You Weren't Here Anymore? Alarm goes off at 6 a.m. and you reach for snooze, dreading today. Don't ever want to wake again. Already a pounding head. Have you ever wished you weren't here anymore? Getting up, but feels like moving in glue. Every fibre so exhausted, so depleted. Feeling the side of endless pain, yet nothing is there. Have you ever wished you weren't here anymore? You work long hours for months and months to feel better, endlessly and diligently exercising all the best of self-care, and yet more trauma upon trauma still came for you. Have you ever wished you weren't here anymore? So many bills to pay, not sure of the way, working many jobs, juggling plates that spin night and day for no gain. Never a break, never feeling peace. Have you ever wished you weren't here anymore? So alone, no one to hug or hold, no one to listen, always you holding, carrying everything up by yourself, so exhausted, feeling unwanted and unloved. Have you ever wished you weren't here anymore? But you are here, and you got up today, and you walked for another day, still here, breathing. Have you ever wished you noticed how amazing you are, that you made it through another second, another minute, another hour, another day? Have you ever wished you weren't here anymore? But you are here for some more. That's strength. That is courage. Have you ever wished you weren't here anymore?
This poem is called Wounds. If the invisible was something that you could see, then I'm a million scattered bullet holes, like black marbles rolling inside of me. If trauma was something on my skin, then I'm covered in trickling blood, like a crimson river from within. If being long held in dark capture could be displayed in bright light, then I'm wearing purple bruises, like a boxer after the title fight. If interrogations left lingering remains, then I'm covered in jagged scars, like carvings in wood bearing my names. Thank you. This poem is called Let Her Float. Let her float away, drift slowly on water and have nothing to say. Watch her go, fade to the horizon. So beautiful, you know? She was so perfect,
So fine, juggling, pretending. She walked the line. Let her now fade. Love the bones of her, of me. She was made. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. That was fantastic, as always. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. And we are moving on to the next poet, and it's going to be Bray. I know Keith from an event that takes place regularly, where poets meet and perform or read their poetry. And Keith also has I can see he has a musical instrument with him. This is always exciting.
Let's go take a walk to the dark side of town, where all those gigolos, pips, lowlife and wild wolves hang around. Feel what it's really like to be the outcasts, knaves, miscreants, rogues and reprobates of this topsy-turvy world we call planet Earth. The cool operators, the slow-hand Joes, the brute fauna, the black market racketeers that work outside the legitimate limits of human laws. Beyond all morality and ethical codes, way past the dividing line that separates our sense of what's right from wrong. The place where the Sisters of Charity ply their trade with offers of instant gratification and consolation. The place where the dandy, sharp-eyed, keen, wide boys hold court, stunning about, trapped in their devious, cunning scenarios. To the streets where the wildcats hang about, on the corner looking out for sitting ducks, easy prey and soft touches. To the fleshpot, red light districts, no-go pleasure zones, cabarets and upmarked subterranean cellar bars, where people live their lives moment for moment, not knowing or caring what the future holds. Let's go take a walk to the dark side of town, where the miscreants, oddballs, outsiders hang around. So I haven't really prepared at all. So, okay, I'll do as fast as I can. Okay. This is called The Judgment of the Furious. When her anger rises, she comes down on you like a flock of hawks. The final ruling set in stone. Her vengeance as harsh as a furious hounding. talons tearing into the sensitive flesh, falcon-hearted arbiter of fate and destiny, swooping in on wings of retribution, goading and impelling, then striking hard with ruthless, lethal precision and accuracy, mercilessly extracting the price of judgment with no remorse or hint of sympathy, straight in for the kill, eagle-eyed critical with no softening to the crucial blow. And I'll end up with a much more upbeat kind of reggae one, which was it's just called Sunday Reggae Groove, which happens a lot in Hackney, which is, of course, one of the most diverse boroughs in the whole of London. It used to be Brixton, now it's of course. I love Hackney. Sunday Reggae Groove. It's an end of summer, September, moving into an autumn vibe, as Hackney rocks out to a Sunday reggae full-on mixed dub sound. Jump jiving, low diving, full wax scar and blue beat, blasting and blaring out from the speakers straight down the alleyway, straight into Mare Street. It's a back coma. On the corner, big afro hairdo, dreadlocks, Caribbean day. With a savoury, fragrant, spiced aroma of jerk chicken, fried rice and peas permeating the air. The pulse and throb of the beating heart laying down a fire and soul, bass heavy rhythm groove, with a touch and wash of psychedelia. In celebration, glad to be alive mode, taking time out just to relax for a little while as the upstroke chops of the chugging guitar keep it all rolling along while we sway dancing to a global song of peace and love. Thank you.
And our next poet is going to be Richard Allen. Also a very special treat, and I can sit on your warm seat.
Oh yes, yes, I have warmed it extensively. So very quickly, Unrequited Love, James. This is called the ABC of Love. 1, 2, 3, ABC, I love you, you love me, that's the way it's meant to be. I suspect your husband won't agree. I'm going to do some. I don't often play songs on my guitar, but I'm going to do so this time. James and or Bettina, feel free to join in. Lou Reed once said of songwriting, 1 chord is fine, 2 chords is pushing it, 3 chords and you're into jazz. This is a fine song. This is all on the chord of G. And this is a public health warning on Saturday night. A message of moderation. When life stinks, so do you, and all the world's a pile of poo. When woes patrol your avenue, and hog your locks to super crew. When self-doubt hogs the mic and self-esteem takes a hike, try a little of what you like to get you up and on your bike. Microdose is all that I require. Dose, mood morose or bellicose, I propose microdose. A wee dram, a simmer dam, a jot of a dot, a microgram, a smudge of smack, a splodge of speed, a breath of death, a waft of weed, a crumb of cracker to grieve and the L without the SD, a shilling of shrooms will shift the gloom, illuminate the darkest room. Microdose, you get your day off to a flyer dose. Net effect, less than gross, the working dose. Microdose, the charge for non-prescription pill, and buff for when your soul is ill. Alternative medicine, if you will, does not go on the government's bill, and thus for cost effectiveness I must and duly do profess. Microdose, no more nor less than the saviour of the NHS. Microdose, the responsible citizen's chosen dose. The doctors cheer and raise a toast for the hero's dose. Microdose, consistency's the key to the deal. A microdose with every meal, and in between, whenever you feel a slip of your grip upon the wheel. And if you skip the boundary from medical need to wowee, as my old mum would say to me, worse things happen at sea. Microdose, microdose, another log on the fire dose. Overdose, not even close, you go with a microdose. Questions please, yes, you on the back row. How many micros take a macro? Here my knowledge is not exact, so I will go and find the facts. When will that be? When will what be? Micro what? Sorry, you've got me, am I alright? Why would I not be? I've been fine since the lobotomy. Who was that just said that? And why they sat inside my flat? And how did that get on the mat? And why is the flat called the flat when the only thing that's flat is the mat? And what the fucking hell was that? And why am I talking to the cat? And I don't actually have a cat. And why did I not spot before the amazing pattern on the floor? I'd have to check, but I'm fairly sure it wasn't like that when it came from the store. And why this hole in my front door? And why this noise when I move my jaw? And did we win or lose or draw? And when can I score one more encore? Microdose, microdose, I might require a higher dose. Indisposed, lachrymose, I propose. Microdose, 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 not even close to comatose. Need subdued or grandiose, I can do microdose. No cause of neurons to necrose, major organs to sclerose, brains or arteries to thrombose, brains to turn to cellulose, nails and limbs to cyanose. You can't go wrong with a microdose. Actually, stay over if you want. Stay over, James. This one's now. So that was fine. This one's pushing it because it's got two chords. I know. We won't do the jazz number. So this goes. Which is that's two very
2/3 of the way to the blues.
Yeah, and it's also that's very two Lou Reed chords, that isn't it? So.
Oh yeah, waiting for the man.
And this is for the poets and musicians who are considered within the traditions of witchcraft to be magicians because of our creation of a state of trance in our audience through our performance. Music magic. Fag, grease of chip, oil of rag, pube of zip, nail of thumb, stocking ladder, scratch of bone, seat of bladder, snot of nose, pus of pimple, cheese of toes, compose my simple, place in pot of simmered, sick from drunkard got, stir with stick, picked from bog, in order to scrape dirt of dog from sole of shoe, a budgie tweet, a cluck of duck, a turn of heat, seasoned with luck, a cooling keg, 1/4 hour, glazed with egg, thickened with flour, and the beats go down, and the words come in, and the rap hits town, and it ain't no sin, and it ain't no sin, when the rap hits town, and the words come in, and the beats go down, and it ain't no sin, and it ain't no lie, it can turn and spin, it can rise up high, it can fly up high, it can flow down low, and it ain't no lie, and it ain't no whoa, poetry and music, magic, magic, music, music, magic, magic, a poem, song, music, magic, magic, music, music, magic, magic, translation, stage creation, poet, music maker, makes magician, warlock, trickster, whichsoever word for casting spells of love not heard except on those for whom such dole is due, desert for their destruction of the peace of others, on such malice, father, mothers, curse of witches, wizards, lizards, weird sisters, bards, strummers, hazardous hags and digweeds descend, enthrone their throne, throng their thought, stubble, double, trial and trouble, rock their party, rile and rubble, and the beats go down, and the words come in, and the rap hits town, and it ain't no sin, and it ain't no sin, when the rap hits town, and the words come in, the beats go down, and it ain't no sin, and it ain't no lie, it can turn and spin, it can rise up high, it can fly up high, it can flow down low, and it ain't no no lie, it ain't no woe. And the beats go down, and my lights go up, and the sun is a crown, and the sky is a cup, and the earth is in it, and the moon is an eye, and the sea is a tear, and the wind is a sigh, and space is a breath, and time is a tick, and life and death is a music magic trick. Thank you, Lottie. I have a book for sale, 12 quid. The first one I did is in the book, that one isn't. There you go.
Thank you, Ursula. And our next poet is Lawrence Blackmann, who is of course also very special. That's why he is here. And yes, take the mic.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Bettina, and thanks, James, for putting this on and inviting down. It's congratulations on your book, of course. Books, I should say. Cool. I'm going to start with a poem which was made when I was travelling, and it's called A Poem About Waking Up, which is just exactly what it is. It's not really a title. And it's about where waking reality has no imagination. It's just what it is, but dreams can be anything. Which links quite nicely to James's Love Pavement, which is like a dreamscape, I suppose. Anyway, here it is. The alarm, it sounds, it's opening time. Suns, lights, night, tomorrow's just another today. Mind's eye flies, poured, torn out of the sky, crying into body, skin and bones, feels corporeal once again. The ends of dreams tower blackest slate, rough tarmacs cracked and broken states, life's pathway streams ahead it seems, roads flow where sleeping minds won't go. Hard and static human made, the rocky valley, the woken mind, the feet on pavement feel nothing more than what is there, it's but the floor. Bound hard by physics rules that dictate the limits of the waking state, a plunge from heaven back down to earth, a nadir that soars down icy claws, crack, hack, attack and drag us back and tighten up our dreamscape slack. A truth neither cares for nor sees the stories wrought on slumber's breeze. I knew them once, the worlds that float on high outside reality's moat. I can't recall or tell you when or how it happened, but it happened then. The sky's mouth opened, I tumbled in, a grinning child cleansed of waking sin. I fell or flew in everywhere, in all directions I fell at once. I made friends of my fantasy and stiffened will, conception's rods. I drew a line upon the sky and spoke with false imagined gods. When time is not a measured thing, the endless lives a night can bring. My mask, the form I wear in light, removed and soul has freedom gleaming. The place I go when I'm unwoken, a place of language never spoken, is doomed, I fear, is doomed to die with every dawn's invaded sky. A conscious mind, a waking world, will keep us in with open eyes until our energy dissipates, until we will capitulate. To end of days when God's maimed light recedes again and dreams take flight. This is another piece I made in the same time, which is nothing to do with it, but in some way must be, because it was made around the same time. You know what I mean? But this is I crashed this party when I was in Bangkok on this occasion, and I crashed this party, and I didn't mean to. I just walked in because it was open, and they assumed I was like a journalist, so I didn't tell them I wasn't, because they kept giving me free wine. And then later on I told them I was, because they kept giving me free wine. And I was sat in this chair and watching everything going around, and I looked at it and thought, this is a Francis Bacon chair. It's a chair which Francis Bacon would have in his studio or in a painting or something. And this is it. The wood is hard, the sides are steep. Your less than hearts would speak of sin. When unbeknown and without care, you're in the Francis Bacon chair. In heavy feeling comfort dwells. There is no knowing next of kin. When caught on spikes and caught in stare, sat in the Francis Bacon chair. The cushions lessen feelings deep, flesh torn neath the light is glim. A light bulb hangs and skin is bare inside the Francis Bacon chair. In known unknown the fabric smells. A platter lays you out as skin. For timid hearts, your heart beware when in the Francis Bacon chair. It serves you up, you wouldn't dare to be without what you are within, when you are perched and sitting there inside the Francis Bacon chair. Thank you. I don't know how much time that is.
One last one.
All right. Well, I've got some books as well. They're not really published in the traditional sense. I just make them and then try and sell them to unfortunate people. Here's one, and it's like a poem as a drawn artwork. I've got some other ones which are just drawings, and so if you want to have a look at them, here I am. This is just a stupid poem, if it's even a poem. And it was the other day, I was just in my flat and I looked in the fridge and there were just so many potatoes, and I'm not sure how it happened, but there were just so many of them. And I'm not really a potato fan particularly, like I like them, but they're not, you know. And so that made me think about potatoes a lot. And so this is called a potato weekend. I've got so many potatoes, my fridge is about to distend. Just so many potatoes, it's driving me round the bend. I can't describe the diatribe, domination of potato tribe. More potatoes than I can describe, potato weekends, restore the vibe. Potato weekend, let's all go crazy on potato weekend. If you've got one, no worries son, I can lend. There's potatoes aplenty, bring a friend. Potato weekend, hashtag online trend. It's potato city, don't pretend you're not tempted, potato weekend. I can't remember when there were so many, I hate to waste, my heart forfend. Let's make a soup, ingredients blend, potato weekend. Grab a handful in your pockets, mount on fireworks, make them rockets. Kitchen sink to overflowing, where they came from, no one's knowing. They're on the floor, they're in the bin, they're on the curtains, in your skin. Potatoes getting everywhere, potato tubers in your hair. Potatoes in your mouth and hands, potatoes in your ears, potatoes up your fucking arses, up your nose, sinuses clears. On your grandma, in your dog, in the toilet, potato log. They're in the garden all over the place. Watch out, mate, they're on your face. You can't deny that you've been had with potatoes, phoning up your dad, pretending to him that they are you and they are him when they talk to you. It's just not safe, so many nights shade, block the door, you can't get out. Potato landslide, tumble down, force down your throat when you scream and shout. It wasn't smart, it wasn't clever. This potato-based and crazed endeavour, exhausted by the Sunday's end, will not be repeating potato weekend.
And that concludes the creative part of the evening. I want to thank Sam Enthofen for inviting us. And it's always an absolute pleasure to be in a bookshop. I love bookshops, I love books, so this is a natural home for me. So we are really proud to be able to be here, and also very pleased to be able to invite some poets that we cherish and enjoy ourselves. And a big thank you to
Rachel Tansy-Chadwick.
Keith Bray. And Lawrence Blackmann. And a very special thank you to Jason White from London Poetry Books, who had with us and published our books, and is generally very, very supportive of poets and young talents, and very inclusive, which I think is a particularly